Ba-bum, ba-bum. There we go. Hello. As promised yesterday, we keep on going with that track that we started yesterday. So there we go. Welcome, everyone. Shoot your question if you have some. Leave your comments. Keep the conversation going if that's something you're into. And let me switch the screen and let's recap where we left off yesterday. I don't want this, and I want to have this here. So hopefully we can see the chat better. Yeah, let's just play what we had yesterday. I think the only thing I did in comparison to yesterday was that I had the Berlin solo strings, and today I just because I had the Spitfire solo strings just on my slave system, and I copied them over today and activated them here on my system. Craig, yo, man, what's going? So I changed the Berlin solo string to that Spitfire solo string. I might change that later. We'll look into that. Other than that, pretty much just opened the session and curious to see what we did yesterday. What camera I'm using for the stream? My Canon SL2 with an 18mm wide angle. That one. Oh. Ooh. Okay. So, that's where we were. 6 guys watching now. Hello, guys. Leave a comment who you are. Just don't watch silently. I want to know who I'm talking to, if I'm talking to anyone. Yeah, just let me know from where you're watching, if you have any questions. Or other than that, let's dive straight in and keep on working. And there were a few issues in the second part here that I see. So that second boom we have here kind of sucks out the energy of that one. So I may change that. Yeah, I think that one is a little bit too much in your face. Let's see what else we have. Hello, Amir. That one is a little bit more subtle. And maybe bring the volume a little bit down. I think I like that more, to be not as massive when everything kicks in. Jim, Austin, Texas. Good to see you. Okay, how are you setting up tracks in this template? Okay, let's do a quick walkthrough of the template and why this is different than the regular template that I've been working with. Um, Nice to see you streaming so much. Well, I mean, we all sit at home and have nothing to do unless we have to do music writing, etc. I just realized that I kind of stopped my stream, so I actually want to have that playing. There we go. Okay, now we are live. Um, okay, template. As you know, I've been usually working from my large template with like roughly 1800 tracks and everything loaded and ready to go, and V Pro on two systems and on the master. And while I still like that way of working, and it's very convenient for me to have everything accessible and work with it, I kind of recently felt that as rewarding as it is to speed up the workflow, it's also kind of limiting because you kind of tend to use always the same sounds and don't change up much. So um, I still feel creative with the template, but I wanted to kind of have more opportunity to check out other sounds or load something that I not initially think of. So I was, and another thing was that especially with streaming at the same time, the system was very fragile, not very stable, and I mean I didn't have a lot of dropouts or problems, but they were there. And my CPU reading was kind of sitting at 75% all the time with this amount of tracks, and sometimes I had the problem that my slave upstairs overheated. And hey, Sean, Chennai, India, great. I mean, I love technology. Whole world comes together. That's great. So my CPU meter was reading very high overall, and so I was thinking, okay, what I could do. I mean, I love the fact that everything is pre-routed and I can mix directly from the track. So when I have a MIDI track, I have the audio return accessible from the Pro and everything. So I wanted to keep that, but I wanted the freedom to change patches and on the fly. So it's a little bit, a lot of you guys, I'm pretty sure, know Daniel James. And he has that approach of having contact instances preloaded, like strings, brass, and then he just loads the stuff unless he needs. So the basic principle is the same. I have right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 contact instances, which translates to this list here. So these are all contacts. Well, there are two more because one engine and one sign player for the JXL brass. Anyway, long story short, what I want to say is when I open, for example, uh, the contact for bass and guitars. So what these are is pretty much an empty shell. So I have 16 instruments in contact. Let's clear that up for a second. So and in the output section, every contact has 8 outputs. That translates to the physical outputs from the instrument 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 16 instruments per instance means I can send to Cyrek. Good morning. Nice to see so many streams from you in the last time. Well, I just said, well, what can you do? We are all stuck at home, so I can also stream, hopefully, and have you guys on board. I need to write anyway, so I can write together with you and maybe share one or two things that I do in my workflow. Back to topic. So 8 outputs on each contact instances. They are all labeled according to the instance. So I have guitars and strings short, strings long, etc. And the process that actually took the longest is to prepare my quick load menu, because what I did is I changed my quick load menu to have all libraries on my system available within the quick load. So that these 13 instances here translate to my folders that I have here. So when I, for example, go into the guitars and say I need an electric guitar on a cue, obviously that takes a little moment. No, now it's good. Okay. So need an electric guitar, then I just go to my guitar section, and then I have all my different libraries and guitars that I have on my system. So there's quite a bunch of stuff. And for example, let's say I need some chugging guitar on that track, then I can just load the corresponding instrument, bam, done, and have that right away available. And these 8 audio returns are routed respectively the same way I have it in my original template. So I have the only thing that I did is I got rid of my first tier, so I only have 2 more tiers. First group is the returns strings high short, high long, low short, low long, etc. So this is pretty much the group where these high long strings that I can load here get summed up the first time. So for example, I can say I can tweak the whole high long strings with one EQ section. If I want to tweak individual returns, I can do that here directly on the MIDI, respectively on the audio return. So there is a slate mix rec pre-set up on every audio channel, and then I can mix from there, but also I can tweak the individual groups on these inserts here. So brass high, brass low, brass ensemble. So that's the way it's set up. In earlier days, I had brass and woodwinds separated by long and short as well. I don't do that anymore. I just felt that it's unnecessarily bloating the system. So that is tier 2. And then after that, I do have my reverb section, which translates to the same as I had in the other template. It's one reverb per group, per main group. So that allows me in the end, if I stem out a track, to just stem these groups, including reverb and everything. So just as an explanation, the signal goes out to contact. Let's take the ensemble long, for example. So as you can see here, that's the return for ensemble long. In the contact instance, you can see that here. That is output 8 of contact. And if I open that up, you can also see that it's running through output 8 of contact. I could have also set up 16 individual outputs for contact, but I just felt that was a little bit too much. So I think I'm good with 8. So they go out here, and that translates to my audio channel that is connected to this MIDI track. So ensemble long. Yeah, you can see that. So then I have the direct routing. So it gets sent to that group. Strings ensemble, in this case, string ensemble long, because it's an ensemble sound. So, and as I've said, the effect inserts if I need to tweak something, EQ, compression, whatever. And this translates to all the other channels as well. You're using more key switching with this one? Yeah, I can. So that's also another cool thing. I don't need to define that right away if I want to have single instruments or key switchable instruments. So for example, on the first, let's take the violins, for example. So I can decide, do I want to load cinematic studio strings, let's say the first violins. So obviously this is a key switch patch. And where is it? So I can say, okay, this is going to be CSS cinematic studio strings with key switches. Another thing that I found really great and try to utilize more, as I said, this kind of workflow is still in its infancy, the way I work it. But you can set up different track versions for each MIDI channel. So depending on what library I load into the channel through Contact, I can set up my little MIDI information that in the other template that I had in every MIDI channel. I can do that for every library depending on what I load. So Cinematic Studio Strings, for example. Now I changed the track version for Cinematic Studio Strings. When I decide to load Spitfire, I can change that to Spitfire, have another MIDI information here. So everything is possible to set up before I load anything with all the different variations of what I can actually put into the MIDI information, like initial mic settings and things like that. So I'm not sure if I want to utilize that or not. So I tried it. It's working. So I can say if I load Audio Imperia as Jaeger, for example, then I just switch it to AI and have the um, necessary MIDI bit here. The downside of this whole system is that the track delay, the negative track delay, is not connected to this track version. That would be awesome because then I could set the track delay for different libraries depending on what I load. This way, I always need to manually adjust the track delay. So, for example, Cinematic Studio Strings has -60. But since I loaded the expression map on this one, I can control it through my remote control on TouchOS. So that's pretty cool. But if I at some point decide, actually, I want to use another violin sound, then I just go up here and say, okay, load Audio Bro LA scoring strings, for example. Load the violins full legato. Bam, done. Don't like the glissando there, just turn that off. So that's basically the principle behind it. So I just realized even with my 1800 track template, most of the tracks utilize not more than 80 or 100 tracks at max. So that's kind of my foray into better utilizing my system resources and maybe not having 3 systems running all the time. There will be occasions when I need the big template, but I think I can get most of my jobs done with a smaller one. So let's set that back to empty. Also, if I want to reset it, and I mean, I can't do that right now because I'm utilizing the ADO ones on this already. But usually what I would do, oh, I can do it. It sustains. So I can just click back and forth, and that way my instance is empty again, and I don't have anything loaded. So now I want to get back the ADO MAJESTICA strings long. These were the ones I did use. Okay. So, and final words on the routing. So, are they there? Okay, that works. So, audio inserts, I can do the effects based on the sound. Audio sense, I'm sending it to my string long reverb that is sitting behind the second tier here. So the sound goes here to the ensemble long and also goes here to the string long reverb. And these both groups get summed up in my final tier, which is strings. So also not to forget to mention, why do I have the reverb after the second tier? That has to do with deliverables. So usually when I work either for DocuScores for our own label or for other labels, usually when you write, you send your main mix, maybe alternative mixes, and your stems. And usually these stems are done, including reverb and everything. But whenever write something that I need to send out more defined stems or send something out for mixing, you don't want to have the reverb included. And then what I would send out is actually the tier 2. So I would stem that out even more and could send this out to mixing, and then there would be no effects included because the effects come after that. So I can either render the whole thing wet at the same time, all the different stems, or I can render the tier before that without the reverb dry, and then whoever's mixing it can take care of that. So that is pretty much the routing setup. In terms of reverb, I stripped down a lot. I'm using Valhalla Vintage Verb, the where is it? The medium random hall, but with a modern setting, 2.19 seconds delay, tail, and that's all. I don't have anything more. Just one reverb, but I have them 14 times for every single group. So obviously the reverb for the keyboard gets sent to the keys stem, etc. And some sounds obviously require a few more settings for reverb, like delay, or for example, here I have the black hole, ether instruments, delay, vocals oftentimes require some delay. So some groups have more effects than just one, but overall the orchestral sounds and strings and the reverb is the same throughout for all the stems, just one for each group. And since Valhalla is so extremely lightweight, there is no issue running 15, 20 instances of it at the same time. And I was actually pretty surprised when you look at the mixer with a Slate console in every. Don't show the meter bridge. There we go. So I was actually pretty surprised to see that the Slate Virtual Mix Rack, it's sitting in every single channel, and there is no difference in the CPU, so it's extremely lightweight on system resources, which I really love because that way allows me to tweak every sound in multiple ways with just one single plugin. And you can shape it in kind of any direction you want. You have all these awesome sounding plugins, preamps, compressors, EQs. There's really great stuff in there. So that is my basic setup. I tried the same with the Waves SSL channel. I have that as well. And I could use that one too. And that is also very, very lightweight. But I find the Slate stuff to be even more broad and gives you more opportunities to shape the sound even more than just with the Slate than just with the SSL alone. And there is an SSL emulation in the Slate as well, so you're not missing out on anything. Let me check the comments. Last night watched your handsome best service at World 6 review and was amazing. I have a question which I couldn't find answer anywhere. Thanks for finding it amazing. That's great. Do you know any software for Windows which has the same functionality as MainStage 3, which allows functions such as layering, assigning pad sounds to sliders pair? Unfortunately, I can't really answer that. I have heard of MainStage, but I honestly have no idea whatsoever about the functionality and what it can do and what it cannot do. So I don't really have anything to say to that. I have never been working with MainStage, so I just don't know the software. Any giveaways? Yeah, I'm giving away virtual hugs. Feel comfortable with that. There you go. So far for looking into the template functionality. And in the end, compared to my main template that's connected to VE Pro, the size is roughly 15 megabytes. On this one, my main template with the VE Pro instance, everything loaded, is like 60, 70 megabytes. So this is only 1/4 pretty much the size. I mean, it will grow eventually when I load a few more contact instruments, but not that much. And no hug, social distancing. That's why we do them virtually. Another great thing that I forgot to mention, if I happen to run out of channels or something is just not working, I need more of something or more strings because I want to use more than 60 instruments or something like that, it's actually really great that I can just take the channel, right click and say duplicate. And I immediately have 16 more channels, all again pre-routed, violence 1, violence 2. So this is all correctly routed here, and I have 60 more channels with just one simple click. And in terms of system resources, it just means one more instance of contact, which is not that bad at all. I really love that. But I also have to admit that the whole approach on working like this is still well, not new, but I haven't worked like that in a long while. So only time will tell if that actually is a feasible approach for me to work like that. Overall, I have to say I like it. There's a few niggles that I have with it. First of all, to lock this. On first load, because the quick load is pretty big now, with all my libraries put into that, takes a while to load. So when I open up the instrument the first time, you see what happens here. You have that little spinning wheel of death waiting. It says loading. And only when this is done, you can access it through the right click. So when you right click, you have that quick load menu right away, but I prefer to do it here, and it takes a little moment to come up. So by the way, is chamber string as good as they say? Because I'm planning to get it. The Spitfire chamber strings are gorgeous. Says the guy who doesn't have them on this system right now, because I will put them onto this system as well. They're sitting on my slave. So they are really good. I mean, I could load them on the slave, but won't do for now. Spitfire strings, my favorites are the chamber strings and the Spitfire solo strings. These are really good, in my opinion. And Albion is really good too, Albion 1. Anyway, so let's get back to track. Literally. Let me give it one more listen to see what we had and where we're going with it today. I do not have the Spitfire Studio strings, so I can't really say much about these. But from the video walkthroughs, I can say that I didn't really like them. Okay, first I think it's time we bring in some percussion because we're lacking in that department. So we had I think that was MAJESTICA, the Grand Casas. Just came in the piano piece hit harder than EDM kick. Well, thanks for that. I want to support this little brass stab that we had in the end here. Where was that? There we go. So it's playing. So let's support that with a percussion. Want to definitely put that in. My playing sucks. Sorry for that. But that is 16th notes. Dum 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 dum. Okay. And I also want to control velocity a little bit on this one. Don't hit as hard on the first one. That's nice. Okay, but we need to add a little bit more stuff. I think after the stream yesterday, I played a little bit. No, I didn't. Okay. So let's go with some mid percussion. Percussion. I mean, we could do some MAJESTICA. I mean, that's what the stream was about overall, anyway. So let's see. We have the Grand Casas, so maybe do the toms. Taiko, okay. Yeah. Let's do something else. Okay, you want taiko? Then let's go with taiko. But taiko is actually a low instrument, so let's go with the low percussion here. We can use the ADO taikos. I think that's the first starting point anyway. There we go. Oh, low percussion. I really like that one, but we can beef it up a little. And one thing that I forgot to mention in the layout of the template, is actually, yeah, let me get rid of that. Let me delete that. The only downside of not having absolutely individual channels is that, for example, like here, I have the sub that's going, let me open up the mixer. The outputs. We have sub, low, mid, high, metal, cymbal, snare, other. Maybe just for percussion only, I might change that up and actually do 16 outputs. So every instrument in this contact instance can be treated differently. Actually, that is not a bad idea at all. Let me add 8 outputs to this one. But reason being, right now, for example, when I say I want to tweak the taiko differently, or want to change something on the EQ or change something there, I would automatically also change. I had it loaded here, if you remember. I would also change this sound because they're both going out through low. So that means I mean, on the strings and on the brass and everything, I'm fine with that, and I don't even have that problem of multiple. Uh, if I load a second pair of violins on the same patch, I'm fine with it to have them running through the same stem and maybe tweaking the EQ the same for these two. But I have a problem with that on percussion. So percussion might be the only instrument where I actually really do 16 individual outputs instead of 8. So every MIDI channel translates to its own output. So let me show you quickly how I would go about that if we want to add more outputs. So I would go and say I need 8 more outputs. I'm not looking at the auxiliaries that are part of Contact. So 8 two-channel outputs. So for now, I have them not connected. Say OK. So now I'm going to send this. And this is where I really hate Contact. Is because the numbering is strange. So 17 should be this guy. Yeah, exactly. So that is 17, 18. Yeah, obviously it will remind you that you need to save that and reload. 19, 20. So, okay. Sorry for doing that right now on the stream, but maybe it's good to have seen that once, just so you know how that works. 21, 22. Then 23, 24. Then we go 25, 26. 3 more to go. I will be, maybe I cut that part out after the stream. 27, 28. That is this guy. No, wrong. So this guy. Yeah. I'm done in a little bit. 29. Maybe there's also a shortcut to automatically create that, but yeah, I will not worry about it for now. Nope. 31 and 32. Okay. Yes. Done. And I am going to save that already for percussion. So just to make sure that I have a backup of that. Schnittland. What a great name. Schnittland. Yeah, welcome to the show. And so outputs. No, back to outputs. And I'm going to rename them. Oh, come on. Outputs. So, and now I can make it even more efficient. So this is low 1, mid, high perk, metal, cymbal, snares, other. So, and I'm going to do, because I usually only need one sub on the percussion. So I'm going to go with low 2, low 3, mid 2, and actually let me name that mid 1. High and metal can have 2 as well. Cymbal, I only regular need just 1. So we do mid 2, mid 3, mid, then we have high 1, metal, no, high 2 is that, sorry. Perk 2, name that high perk 1. Metal 1. You will understand in a second what I'm doing here. Metal 2. snares 2, snares 1, other 1. Then we have here snares 2 and other 2. So that allows me, now I have 16 outputs and 60 MIDI channels. Actually, I wrote that all in capital letters. Come on. And metal. So, okay, done. Let's get rid of the outputs. No, save it again. Save as percussion. Yes. Now get rid of the outputs. And what I can do now is, that was sub. Sub is going to sub. Perfect. Majestica percussion low is going to low 1. That was percussion low. Actually, that was percussion mid. Let me delete the whole thing. So that's the initial setup. See if the outputs are there. Outputs are not there, but I can load them. I hope. Yep, there we go. Ah, good, I saved it. So open it up. We have sub going to sub, low perk going to low 1, mid perk going to mid 1, high perk to high perk 1, metal perk to metal 1, cymbal perk to cymbal, snares perk to snares, other to other. Now we have low perk. That's one I'm going to send to low 2. We have another low. I'm going to send that to low 3. Mid perk going to mid 2. We are going to do another mid perk that I'm sending to mid 3. Going to do a high percussion that I'm going to send to high perk 2. We don't have any more cymbal because usually, from my experience, I only need one cymbal output. So that is metal 2. Then we have snares, go to snare 2, and others go to other 2. Okay, save the multi. Save multi as perk. Okay, done. So now what I do, or what it allows me to do, last thing is to activate the other 8 outputs that I just created. Okay, I need to close the project and reopen to have contact see the outputs that I just created. So let me save this. I will be back in approximately 30 seconds. So see you soon. So, are we back on track? We are. So, now activate outputs. That didn't work. Why did that not work? Problem here. I think that I need to save that as a standard output. Batch functions. Give me a moment. Rename output channels according to sound. Okay, I could have done that way faster than I did it before. Okay, let's do this. And now rename output sections. I just don't understand why my outputs here give me mono. I want to have 16 stereo outs. Anybody an idea? I'd appreciate any help right now. Okay, I have an idea. Let me close this project. For the time being, I can activate my mic through here. So, wow, what a drastic difference. The original mic sound compared to what Cubase is doing to the sound. So now you have the raw, unfiltered audio that's right here coming out of my mouth. No, they were not enabled. The problem is that there were only the 4 more aux outputs that were there. So when I create a new track instrument, contact, I think I need to save the 16 outputs as a general setting. So it already, yeah, it has the 8 outputs. So yeah, I need to save 16 outputs. Batch function. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need to create 16 channels and create 16 outputs and save that as a default state. 16 channels. So now batch functions, clear output selection, create one individual channel for each little instrument. We have that. Okay, now we have this, and now we need to save the current output state for, let's say, for all formats, doesn't matter. We have 16 channels available, and we have the aux channels as well. So when I now reload contact, there we go. Now we have the channels. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And actually what I want to do is quickly name them. 01. That takes a little moment. Oh, why is it not taking the 0? Oh, it did. So 05, 06, 07, 08. Well, learn something new every day. if you want to have 16 contact outputs, you gotta configure it. 12. Nearly there. Bear with me. 13. 14. 15. 16. Okay, done. So now again, save this as a default for all formats. When I now reload Contact and look at the outputs, okay, now we have 16 outputs. Perfect. Thank you so much. Don't save and reload the other project. Let me mute my mic again, because that is coming through Cubase. So, look at that, nice and shiny. Activate our, yay! Sorry, but I'm excited about. Sometimes I'm also excited just about the small things in life, which can be the outputs for Contact working. So, now I go here, open that up, and now I can rename the other outputs. So we have low perk 3, no, 2, low perk 2, low perk 3. I mean, if OCD kicks in, you could technically say, why do you have not first 3 lows, then 2 mids, etc. But well, it's just the way it is now. Mid perk 2. So these are the audio returns from Contact. Mid perk 3. High perk 2. Metal perk 2. I did something wrong there. Why? What did I do? No, snares another. It's correct. So snares 2 and other 2. Whew. Last but not least, we need to do the direct routing. So perk other goes to perk other. Snare goes to perk mid. Metal percussion goes to percussion metal. High percussion goes to percussion high. Mid, obviously, to percussion mid. Again, mid percussion goes also to percussion mid. And these 2 lows go to percussion low. Percussion, percussion, percussion low. So, save. This is done. Last but not least, I need the mixer. Let's go with this one. And I only want to see my percussion. Percussion. So, and now I want to just copy over my mix rack onto the other ones. And also something, by the way, yeah, that's something I haven't told you because I oftentimes get asked about that. In the pre section of my mixer, every channel has a pre-setting of, in this case, -5. So I bring the gain before the fader down by -5 dB. Reason being that it's kind of like trimming the gain when you do a mixing session in Pro Tools and bring everything down so you don't hit the red on the master fader. And depending on the needs and the loudness of the track, I can even bring that down. So -5 is a value that seems to work pretty good for me. So now everything is done. I have the 16 individual percussion returns. They are routed to their groups. They have their, well, what they don't have is their sense, but I have not set up any sense at all. So let's send all these guys to their percussion reverb. But for the time being, I have them all down at 0 because I decide that on a per channel basis. And last thing to do is to connect, or I mean, it works already, but I want to have the audio channel connected to the MIDI channel. So I go to the 8 new ones that we added, low perk, and this now goes to low perk 2, and that now shows me the other audio returns. So that goes to mid perk 2. This is going to be mid perk as well, by the way. Yep. And when OCD kicks in, I will also name them, well, honestly, just do it right away. 1, 1, because it's my initial template. So I'm going to save that later on and make sure that this is the way it should be. Snares perk 1, others perk 1. Okay, so that is low perk 2, because then I know what channel I'm on in Contact later down the line when I load the instruments. Da, 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 da. 3, and we have high perk 1. No, 2. Sorry. Metal percussion 2. Snares perk 2. Now you see how tedious that whole process of setting up a template, but once it's running, it's actually great. So other perk 2 goes to other 2. Snares perk 2 goes to snares 2. Metal perk 2 goes to metal perk 2. High perk 2 goes to high perk 2. Mid perk goes to mid perk 3. Okay, and then we are correct. Save. Foo! So that is done. Okay, what is the difference between direct routing and when routing from the output of the track? Pro Tools doesn't have that, and it seems that Cubase handles that stuff a little different. It's pretty much the same, it's just a shortcut. So you can either do the routing on the actual audio tracks in the mixer. So when I bring up the mixer again, that second one that I had here. So say these are my audio. I don't want to see MIDI here. Come on. No MIDI channel, thank you. So these are all the contact instances with the audio returns, right? And the first setting up here is the routing, where you send it to the corresponding group that you have set up. In the overview for the channel directly, you have that, oh, sorry, not here, not in the channel directly, but on the MIDI track. You have, it's more a convenience thing. So that direct routing relates to that routing on the mixer channel. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's just more accessible here, so to say, for lack of better words. So with the direct routing, I can see where this is going. Just make sure that everything is going where it should. Snares go to mid, other, perk low, mid, high, metal, perk, mid, and other. Okay, so that is all perfectly routed. Whew. I may uh I may cut that part out. If you just want to hear some music that might be very boring. I think this kind of information is super useful and interesting to learn. Great stream. Thank you so much. So maybe I will not cut it out and leave it in. Maybe I just leave a note on there so that the super nerdy stuff goes on for 20 minutes from 1 hour to 1 hour 20 or something like that. So where were we? We wanted to introduce a taiko. So we have the Grand Casa here. No, we haven't. Why not? Because I deleted everything. Yay me. So let's get rid of the output section, make that small. Okay. So I know that I had the Spitfire Tundra subs. No, the Albion 1 subs were the ones that I had. Was it Easter Island? Oh, damn. Which patches did I have originally? Know what? Let me revisit my stream from yesterday. I forgot the patch. Damn it. So my channel. Come on. If anybody remembers what patch I used, just leave the note in the comments. I honestly forgot what it was. Okay, don't cut it out. I will leave it in there, of course. As you wish. So, ATO Majestica. That was yesterday's stream. Okay, earning myself 0.0001 cents. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, there we go. There is no percussion there yet. Okay, yeah, Easter Island it was, I think. Did I change it? I changed it. Okay, it was Tundra Darwin Percussion. There you go. Thank God for having videos available. Percussion, Spitfire, Tundra, Darwin Percussion. There we go. And the second one was ATO Majestica Low. And here we have the Grand Casas. Okay, that is working. Good. So that is done. And now we can bring in the taiko and have a dedicated audio return for the taiko. So let's go here, low percussion 2. And you said you don't want a dio, so let's go with... That's something I don't really understand. Why does it take time to rebuild? But it's there 5 seconds after. Okay. Percussion, Spitfire. What did you say? Spitfire Albion has... Let's check the low ensemble, I guess. Sub hits, low hits, mid hits, heights, metal. Oh, I think I have only loaded the low hits here. Oh, I think that is a custom patch that I did once for another template or something. So where's the original Albion 1 percussion patch? There we go. Not digging that right now. I'm going back to ADO to the Tycho. There we go. And the whole thing, while we actually started with that stuff, is to now be able, so when I change anything on the setting here, I don't affect my first low percussion channel. So that are two different audio returns. That's why we went through the whole hoops. So let's say we want to kind of cut out a little bit of the low end there. And we can maybe use the FGA. No, not the FGA. Let's use the Neve. What I love about these emulations is that you can change the sound quite significantly. So I want to say I want more high end, a little bit more scoop, and take out a little bit of the boxiness at, say, 600, I would say, and give a little bit of boost on the 100 area. So that's quite a difference. Too. And then you can also just tweak the compression a little bit. So ratio, let's go with like 3:1. Relatively medium attack, fast release, no makeup, and then just dialed in till we have the needle sitting at -3, -4. So just the peaks a little bit under control. We can also tweak the sound in and of itself with a, so we can say we need more room. Bring the delay down. We don't need delay on this one. Or maybe go an octave higher. I mean, you can drive it to the extreme, especially with the slate stuff. You can say, okay, I want to have some pre-gain setting. And by the way, maybe the distressor might even work better on the percussion. So let's see, we have a nice preset here that we can start with. Drum, hot master bus. No. Drum room nuke. No, we don't want to nuke the signal. Drum bus. Well, just dialed it ourselves. Six to 1. think we don't need the low end boost here. And then you can also, if it gets too boomy, you can just dial in the low cut and get rid of the really low end frequencies. I think that sounds pretty cool. So we came from this. Going to this. And last but not least, we can also just give it a tiny nudge of reverb. Okay, let's see. Just don't know what I want to play. Something like that, a little bit improvised, but let's see if we can find something workable within that. I mean, I like the fact coming in on the second half. Okay. Just fixing the rhythm here. So this is going to be tum 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 tum. And we can bring in just very quietly dum da dum da dum da dum da dum dum. So we have. Okay, we need more beef. And then I think we can overall turn it down just a notch. Oops. Okay, building. I want to have some cymbal stuff. So cymbals, for these we can, that's what I mean. Why does it take a little bit to load and then it's there? For this one, I'm going to use Albion, the cymbals. These are very good. Why are my Albion cymbals not here? Oh, I think I forgot to put these into the quick load. Percussion, because they're in the legacy. Okay, sorry, my bad. So going to percussion. As I said, I just prepared that in the last days and started to work with that. So there's still some stuff missing here and there. So yeah, the swells as well. Put them here. Why can I not put the patches here? Something is odd. Okay. One more try. Oh, because it's locked. There we go. Okay. And lock again. So, done. Let's get rid of the browser. We don't need that. So, symbols. One more try. Percussion, Spitfire, Albion 1. Okay, there we go. And since these are now going out through their dedicated symbol return, I can now tweak them on their own. Just give them a little bit high shine and cut the low end. We can go crazy with that. But I wouldn't go too broad with that. Just like cutting the low end that we don't need. And also bring the volume down. It's very loud. What do we have? Costello Studio is great to finally catch a stream. I always see you when it goes on YouTube. Thanks so much and welcome to the live event. Doesn't happen often. Okay, just quickly count out how long that is. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, quickly after 5. So we need 5 beats. 1, 2, 3. Well, I was 1 bar too late. There we go. Okay. I need to go to the sound effects. I want to have some more beef here. So what we need, we have the riser already, we have the whooshes. And by the way, when I now look at the output menu, now I see that I have all... No, I don't have the other outputs available, but I could load them if I needed them. I think. I'm not sure. But all the outputs are there. So I want to have short hits. I just copied over because I only had a Devastator on my slave system. So let's see what we have. Do we have short hits? I don't know. I think in ISORX Classic we have the playable hits. Yeah, there we go. So friggin' huge interface. Or maybe use... Okay, let's go with this one. Dum 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 dum. Okay. For a moment, you can listen to the whole thing. I will be back in a second. Back already. Morning. It's getting there. The whoosh. What did the whoosh do? Okay, just the sub. I feel that we need a hit in the middle here on that part. So let's load something. Hits. Again. Loading. 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 There we go. So hybrid. We could either use some Audio Imperia, Heavy Velocity, no. Juggernaut. Let's go with the Devastator stuff, Trailer Hits. Oh, by the way, there they also have these round robin thingies. Let's go with the classic hits. Watch your speakers. That may be loud. Bring that to -6. And the cool thing now is, since I have individual instruments, I can do whatever I want and tweak them and change them. Because it's saved in the project. So that one is quite nice. So let's put that down. Was a little bit late, but I can tweak that now in the MIDI. So I'm going to turn on the click. Actually, what I want to do is change the click to 8. So now I have. Okay, now I can tweak the. That sounds pretty good. So coming in. It's not really sitting there. It was a little bit early. And we need some sound on top of. Oh man, there's Man, there's a lot of stuff that we need to add. But okay, one thing after the other. I want to add some trombones on the second run through. So we need bones. Brass, what do we have? We have century brass. I think the nucleus trombones are pretty great. So let's go with sustained ones on these. And again, as you can see here, they are routed going out through trombones and go to brass low. So that is all pre-set up. And there's one thing that I want to change here. I not so long ago got the Wave Shep 73, and this one is Sonic Gold on brass, especially when you go with the drive section. So that's a pretty great sound there. Very, very nasty in a good way. So, let's see what we can play there. I have no idea what I actually played there. So, let's see. But C to A, oh, it's C to A sharp, no, to A flat, G sharp, and to B. So we should reflect that in the trombones. Okay, let's go with this. I do the mod wheel afterwards because I need two hands to play it. And then I will add the trombones staccatos afterwards. Maybe the question is, why not load the key switch patch there? That might be even better. So let's switch that up and get rid of the output section. Come on, don't want to see outputs. The question is, why do I not have the key switch version in my thingy here? I need to add that. I forgot to put that in. So, nucleus instruments. Because I didn't... Did I? Sections, brass, trumpets. These are the single. Where are the multis? Multi-patches, sections, brass. Okay, there we go. I forgot to add these. So these are the key switch patches, and it's locked again. But at least now I know why it's not working. Let me do the same for the strings. No, there I have the full versions. Okay, so this is done. Clear the browser, close that, and now we can say brass, audio, imperia, nucleus, trombones. No, not trombones. There we go. There, now we have a key switch. Yay! That's great. Mono mix, I don't want the included reverb. Advanced, the sample start is sitting at -125, I think it is. Yeah, -125. So we just need to adjust this here. 125. And the key switch was C sharp -1. So that should give us. Yes, it does. Now let's record some mod wheel on top. And then, what did I do in the brass here? I stay on. Need to do the volume there. And we need to change the key switch to staccato here. Record 16th. And I want to mix that up just a little bit and randomize their positions so they're not totally aligned. Okay, back to topic. Maybe I keep the mod wheel up there. I don't know if the mod wheel affects the shorts. No, it does not. But we have enough there. The only downside with using key switches instead of expression map is that you need to run the key switch from the beginning to actually have the sound that you want. I feel I can even move it a little bit further. -132. A little bit earlier. That is done. Save might be a good idea in between. I'm really sorry for you hearing that over and over and over again, but I want to make sure it sounds good. And I want to add a high legato line on the strings here. Let's say we go with something from Metropolis on this. Oh, no, we don't need to. We have the, I mean, we are still doing a Majestica stream, so, and we have the legato on the strings. So let's use that. I did. What? Why don't we hear anything? Violin long, channel 5. Oh, that should be channel 6. My bad. There we go. Let's move that a little bit to the left. Okay, let's support the horn line here. What does it do? These guys have a lot of breath. Okay, we start on that C there. And I want to have the volume at... Something is a little bit odd. Do I actually change to B? I changed to B on this one. Okay, yeah, there's the change to B. And the brass, the low... Yeah, they changed to B there. Okay, let's re-record that. Improvised a little bit more of a line there on top. So when you listen... No, not the trombones. Well, maybe listen together, just the brass, what it's doing here. Oh, maybe we should do the horns on F there. Okay, let's go up there. And let them take a breath. So I'm meanwhile so annoyed by the fact that the trombones don't go back to their settings. So quick tutorial on expression map setup. That is nucleus trombone. 2 sets. We have 13 and 14 for the keys. This is going to be sustain, and this is going to be staccato. This is going to be custom, and this is going to be custom. So this is direction, this is direction. So again, this is sus, and this is staccato. This one is triggered by key 13, and this one is triggered by key 14. Done. Save. Nucleus trombone, Audio Imperia. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. All set. Good. So now we can say this one gets an expression map. No, not setup. This one gets nucleus trombone. There we go. And now I can get rid of the key switches. Bam. Go to expression map and say this is going to be sus and this is going to be staccato. Done. I need a little bit more beef there on these last two. Well, maybe. Okay. Yeah, that's better. So now, no matter where I start, the trombones will start with sustain. And also what I want to do, we had the low brass from MAJESTICA. That guy feels a bit quiet, doesn't it? So beef up the EQ presence. We talked about that yesterday, what that is doing, and just amp it up a little bit. I mean, it's called MAJESTICA, but I feel that it is not anywhere near there where it should be as majestic. So I want to beef it up with low ensemble brass, and I want to use the nucleus low brass staccatissimo. That's all I need. Keep the reverb off because I don't need it. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Low ensemble brass, and I just copy this guy over. The low ensemble brass from MAJESTICA. Move that here and say this guy is -125. And that has way more beef. I want to bring these down quite a bit and only have them hit hard on the last one. So low brass is there. Let's see the whole thing. One thing I'm missing here, do we have like a little... I think that's another patch. And... Okay. I feel I need more cymbals on this one, so I'm just sending this guy out to cymbals and load Spitfire. I'll be on 1. See if I find something here. Not what I'm looking for. Check this one. That's the one I'm looking for. Okay. Come on, get ready. Well, there we go. That's the sound I was looking for. I think it might be helpful while I'm working on this to actually rename the tracks to know which sound I have loaded where. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just that little guy. And this is going to cymbals now. And we need a vocal line there on top. Maybe we'll find something nice in the phrases. Maybe that one. I think these are tempo synced so they can get in on time. Oh, I need to start that one bar earlier, I think. Let's see what that sounds like. Yeah, I like that. Children! Who are children? Thank you. Save. Okay, what can we add? First of all, cheers. Need something to drink. Oops. I also feel that the synth department is a little bit underrepresented in this part. After all these years of experience and loads of compositions, do you still feel your own music, or is it now more of a technical approach? I would say that it's more feeling than anything else. I don't see music technical. So if I don't feel anything, I can write. What I realized is that actually jumping on these streams help me focus and get more done. Well, not more. I can work during the day as well. But no, music is all about feeling for me. So there is the technicality helped me to create the feelings that I try to achieve with the music. Mm, if I remember correctly, you did not make extensive use. Yeah, well, it's not really Majestica only. It's just writing with a little bit of stuff from Majestica. It is very reverby for sure. Um, for me, I think it works best layering it when you really need that massive sound. I have if you compare the low brass ensemble sound from Majestica, sounds pretty washy, to be honest. Um, but on the other hand, it thickens up when you have more attack on sounds. Uh, so that was actually Majestica. Maybe rename it. Okay, I think I should force myself to name the sounds once I load them to make sure I know where's what. So that was the trombones of Nucleus. And that low brass was also from Nucleus. So, so on its own, yes, Majestica is very reverby. And that is just with a little bit of reverb attached. So dry is like this. So, but together with the low brass from Nucleus, I think it creates another a different dimension. So for me, it kind of it creates more thickness in the layer. I wouldn't necessarily consider it a library just on its own, but given the current price tag at $208 plus the 10% that you get when you wait a little bit on the website and leave an email for a newsletter, etc. So it's $187 that I paid for it yesterday. It's a great addition for that price. If I would have bought it at full price, I might have been disappointed with the money that I've invested in it for what you get. But it's a great layering tool. That's what I would mostly say about it. There is a new brass library out. Have you seen it? Repetitions are just crazy with this, what I can hear so far. Don't know which one you're talking about, so I'm in the dark there right now. And isn't that a predestined that needs a Bram. Bam on that low C there. So Bram away. Bram away, Bram away. Maybe let's try something from Ayan. The Ayan hits. Menu. I haven't used these in a while. So let's see how they hold up. But I need a different key. Where's the key setting? Is it up here? Where do you change the key? Oh, infinite brass. No, I have not had my hands on this one yet. Okay, I don't like that one right now. I need something else. Well, Keep Forest would be the obvious choice. Medusa has some nice stuff. So let's try the starters. beefy enough. Okay, let's go with the usual suspects. Isaacs Classic. Playable instruments, loops, trailer, classic instruments. Brahms. We need C. Ooh, that's a nice one. Lots of low in there. Do we have some effects on these? I need a sound effect delay that I have not set up yet. So, and I also don't have, okay, I need more than that. Brahms, why is Brahms going to choir? That is wrong. Please go to Brahms. So, Brahms to, I haven't even set up that instrument yet. So there's a little bit wrong with it. But what I wanted to say, what still applies is I need to duplicate these three guys. So duplicate these three guys, just give them a different color, namely the one from Sound Effects Tonal. Move them down here. Okay, we have now SFX Tonal Verb. That goes to Sound Effects Tonal. Then we have Sound Effects Black Hole. So again, just as a reminder, if you tuned in later, I just started to set up this different approach on a template. Late Night Specialist, hello. So sending the delay to Sound Effects Tonal as well. So now we have the delay set up for the Sound Effects Tonal. And now I can say, okay, on this Brahm, I want to have either reverb or the black hole or the delay. Did you ever check out Galmacius? That name rings a that it rings a bell, but I'm not really sure. Did you tell me about that before? Galimatias? I've heard that before. But the answer is no, I have not checked it out yet. So, okay, we can add some delay. That's nice. And also some black hole. So we bring that in, one bar there. Wrong key. Okay, that key is wrong. Looks like it should be A. I just want to make sure So if I hit the A, where's the tuner? There we go. Okay, so actually G sharp is the C. Come on. So there we go. Okay, so that is sitting there. That's better. Make sure that the volume is at something around here. Yeah. How's the new template treating you? Nice so far. I'm actually pretty happy. Gully Matthias, okay, Danish producer. There we go. No, I haven't checked it out yet. I need to do that. Can you take a moment of your time and tell us about your career and experience and the knowledge you gain from it? Because that will help beginners, composers, including me. Tell us about your career and experience and the knowledge you gain from it. The knowledge you gain from a career and experience? Please specify. I don't really understand the question. So I'll try to reword that. What motivates you to be a composer? That's a tough one. So I just added that B there on the Brahm. To give it a little bit more beef. What motivates you to be composer? I just don't know what to do else. What can I say? I mean, I love writing music and doing music and being in the lucky position to make a living off of it. It takes a while, that I can tell you. It's no sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It takes time. So I've been doing that for 10 years now. And luckily, meanwhile, in the position to say, okay, I can make a decent living out of it. Motivation. Honestly, I've never really thought about that question. What motivates me to do it? I mean, I think that's a problem with every creative person out there in the world. What motivates you to be creative? I think creativity cannot be explained. It is just there. And if you are a creative person, you need to have an outlet to let that creativity flow. Either you paint or you model with I don't know the English word for it. Like create sculptures or, but um, yeah, it's tough to explain. It's hard to grasp a motivation why we do what we do, uh, other than saying I just love to do what I do. And I mean, do something that you love for work and you never have to work again in your life. That's the one side to see. My wife would actually say, and you work all the time. So it's obviously different, um, how people look at that. But yeah, if you do what you love, uh, that is enough motivation for me every day to sit down and come up with new music. And obviously it gets better and better over the years the more feedback you get from clients, and get the feedback the clients are happy with what you did and that you were able to enhance their production or their product or whatever they need the music for. um, so that is very rewarding beside the monetary aspect. Yeah, so hope that answers the question a little bit. I need to listen to that from the beginning and see what we are going to do. I mean, it needs a third part, and I'm pretty sure that third part will likely happen tomorrow, not today. I have the feeling we haven't really written much. I am also a publisher now, yes. I fear that vocal could sit a little bit to the left, rather. Let me see. Let me repeat that section and try to find a balance. Yeah, that sounds good. So we go to panning. That last value was fine. Something around that. Let's see what that sounds like. Hey MD, nice to see you. Okay, on that where we get into the groove, maybe we put down another Brahm, but not as big as the first one. Yeah, that one sounds good. Lead vocal is Ethera Gold, I think. Well, not a lead. It's some phrases that happen to fit into the project. And we can also put a slight cymbal rise there. Yes, I know. You want to have it subtle. That's still down a bit. I want to add another instrument of contact here. For one specific reason, because I want to use Performance Ensemble's Oceania Choir, and that instrument is a multi, so I can't load it into the single channels. I could technically, but I'm just faster doing it this way. So I have just one single instance, and I am going to use Performance Samples Oceania, which is here. But I'm using that guy. Add some viola pits. Viola pits? Pizzicato? Violas? That's gonna be very tough to hear. So, but yeah, we'll see. I want to add some from the Majestica. There's this great patch with a Bartok pizzicato. I want to add these on these last hits there. I think that sounds pretty good. Oh, there we go. That's why I turned down the volume on these guys. And bring that down. Mod wheel all the way up, and then I decide on the... Yeah, that sounds good. Sixteenth notes. I totally messed that up. Damn it. Dum dum dum. Dum 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 dum. Okay. Dum 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 dum. Volume can be a bit more. Was a bit soft. Bring that guy there. What is mod we're doing? So listen solo. And obviously Oceania is like, what is it, 80 milliseconds back? Yeah, that sounds pretty reasonable. Audio insert, I want to add the Virtual mix rack again, that I have on all the other channels as well. Let's go with a preset here. I think there was a good one for background vocals. I think that one. But we still need our VC channel. Group 1, and where's my Hollywood? There we go. Hollywood, and just crank the saturation a little bit on the choir. Push it, baby. So let's see, that sounds like. Little bit much in the top end. And we have no reverb. So that is going to the vocal verb. Let's say -8 should be a good starting point. And honestly, I feel that on the choir reverb, we can change the effect a little bit. No. Funny enough, let me duplicate this guy. And make that my specific choir reverb. Because I need one reverb for the solo vocal and one for the choirs. And the choir reverb, I actually want to have longer. So I'm not going with a random medium hall, but with a large random hall. But still with a modern setting. Done. Just change the preset there from, I think I could have just raised the tail length from 219 to 357 or something. So now I can send Oceania to the choir verb. And that gives me a little bit more oomph, I guess. Now I don't need as much. Now I can say, okay, -12 or something like that. And since we have a lot of compression going on this bad boy, we can go way more subtle on the mod wheel. Well, I mean, given that the overall sound is pretty beefy, we can bring it back up a little. So, hello, other dog. The other dog just came in because Cookie is sleeping behind me. Linus just came in. Say hi. That's quite a long tail there. Last but not least, we have these vocal, and I wanted to load. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have the ensemble short. Let's go with the other one. Second ensemble short. That's channel 8. Which one am I using? This is the short Majestica Spic, right? No, that's the pits. That's also not Majestica. That is mid arc 2. Low MR2 pits. There we go. So what I want to do is low ensemble short, this one, and load the Majestica string shorts, but go with the Bartok. Is the percussion from Majestica? Not solely. Right now from Majestica, we are only using the Gran Casa. Nothing else as far as I see. We have the ADO Taiko, Spitfire Audio cymbals. I mean, there's some cymbals in Majestica as well that we could look into. Evil Drivel, by the way, do you do video game tracks? Good question. If you head over to my... I have not done much video games, but I did... last year I did for Sony... Sony PlayStation VR, to be precise. I did the score for Eden Tomorrow, which you can grab over here. There you go. Just posting the link to my SoundCloud. Bandcamp, not SoundCloud. So you can find the score, the full score, original soundtrack for Eden Tomorrow over there. We recorded that live in Hanover, at least with strings on top. All the rest is simple based. But there was a fun experience. But it's not really like writing for video games, because it's still more like film scoring than game scoring, because you don't have a lot of performance-based music or music that interacts with the player, because it's still very straightforward in the VR world. So the music follows a more linear timeline than a loop-based approach. Dorinal Music, hi. Good to see you. What did I want to do? I wanted to add these low hits. One question, why do I have on channel 16, I should have spiccatos. Actually, I should have spiccato fast. No, spiccato's fine. And on this channel, I need to have the colenos. Yeah, I want to add these. They have a lot of bite. Yeah, that sounds good. No need to tweak it further. Save. I just want to refresh my mind. How much track delay does performance samples have on Oceania? Is it minus 80? No, I don't want to subscribe right now. Oceania. There we go. Yeah, 80 milliseconds. Okay. Yeah, it sounded pretty decent. So let me just do one more full walkthrough of what we have so far. And then I think we need to, well, maybe I look into finding a quick something for part 3 of the track, like the final act. I mean, it's getting in a little bit trailery direction, so let's follow the feel there. This is what we have so far. And just on a side note, we should add that low boom for the beginning. So we'll get rid of the low one and make that a bit softer. Yeah, like that. So we have a boom in the beginning. Unfortunately, my Russian is very rusty, so Klasno Polichecia Pushka? I mean, I can read it, but I don't understand it. That's great that you like it, but I still don't know what you said unless I fire up Google Translate. So if you could just switch to English, that would be nice. Sounds good. Thanks so much, TB. Just my TB does not stand for Thomas Bergersen, huh? Sorry, that had to be. Did you listen to So Small, his new track? Wow, so good. Crazy good. I think my dog just farted. Damn. Sweetie, I love you, but that was unnecessary. Phew. Fresh air, please. Ocean in the end is great. Yeah, I think so too. It sounds pretty beefy. How to use in contact without routing working smoothly. You should have recorded a program to Bram. Doggy's Bram farts. There we go. I really want to add the horn. We used the, what did we use? We used the 12 horns legato from Cinesamples. So let's add the 12 horns 12 horns. Eh? 12 horns ensemble articulation. There we go. Just the shorts, so we can layer these. We have the solo horn legato, and we end on F. I just want to put that on top. And mod will adjust the velocity there. A little bit behind the beat. I think these were minus 25 or something. And maybe we just like that, make it 24 horns. So, did I put it in low brass? No. Coming through horns. So that's good. Let me check again. Yeah, it's going through horns. If we bring that down, so we have horns, trumpets, trombones, low brass, high ensemble brass, low ensemble brass, full ensemble brass, effects, and then we have the same again. Horns, trumpets, trombones, high ensemble brass, low ensemble brass, full ensemble brass, and effects brass. So that's why it's correct there. I could also have just used the ensemble patch right away with a sustain to get the legato and then have the shorts there. That would give me another spot for horns. But since I want to use Sign Player and JXL brass anyway, so I already loaded the 6 horns. But that is coming later. I'm going to do a full stream on JXL anytime soon. Just talking with Orchestral Tools about that at the moment. So some little things here and there to fully get right before we jump on a stream with that. But it's coming. Just want to listen to the brass on its own. I think it sounds pretty cool. Actually, on the... No. Or, do we go high? I think that sounds even better. Yeah, that sounds nice. we need some high strings there as well. Not these. Okay, I didn't do these. I want to record them on top. And these I keep pretty unquantized to have them a little bit well, apart from the last ones. So, just doing the check here if it sounds good with strings and brass alone. Hi, Dirk. I'm hearing like kind of like a full whole tone trill on the strings. So show all. Did I load anything in the violins? No, I did not. What do we have for a full trill? We have Metropolis Arc, but there's no trill patches in there. Spitfire. Do they have trills? Long tremolo? No. Does Nucleus have trills? No. Jaeger? No trills. Okay, then we go with cinematic strings. Funny how little trills we actually have. Sound score is just lyric cello. Komodo has no trills. I need to copy over Berlin strings onto this system. Well, I mean, scoring strings has trills as well. Okay, going with brass violins. Oh, TB, yeah, I read your question before. I haven't answered that. I'm going to look into that in a second. So, but what we did, we had the expression maps already, so we can do the trills, please. Trills. Why is it not changing? That's strange. Why is... Okay. Seems my Touch OSC is not connected right now to the system. It doesn't matter. We can always just change it here. MIDI expression maps. Go with trills. Why the freaking hell? Okay, at least that is working. And mod wheel can go all the way up, and we can start a little bit louder. I think I need to hard quantize these. Oh, come on. How hard can it be to do string? Are you freaking kidding me? Why is that not working? We are on one. We are on one. Sending data. And this is hard quantized. CC11. Okay, CC11 was down. Okay, I just want to have that little trill there on top. Okay. So, back to the question. Do you have any tips for building a career as a composer in 2020? Is there a chance to be heard, or do I have to get into that remote control to be successful? Getting into remote control is not necessary a guarantee for being successful. On the other hand, so getting into remote control is not the measure of making it or getting into the industry. It's just a part, pretty big part, honestly. I mean, they have built quite a successful, huge venture there. If you see remote control as well as Bleeding Fingers. And they're pretty successful at what they do, so no doubt about that. And they have a great output and do great music there. But it's not the common denominator to define what it means to be successful in this industry. On the other hand, building a career as a composer in 2020, in parts is easier than it was in the 1960s, 70s, or whatever, because then you definitely had a problem when you were not when you didn't have an orchestra at your fingertips. So the technology has changed. The technology makes things easier, but on the other hand, that also makes the market more crowded, and you need a lot more to stand out from the rest than sounds. Because I mean, the sounds, everybody has the same sounds and samples available. Everybody can use Spitfire or ADO and all the good stuff that we know and love. So what you can do to make it different is try to incorporate as much as possible live elements. If you know a violinist, great. Let them slam their violin on top of every track that you have strings in. If you don't happen to have friends and also are short on funds and cannot afford remote recordings and stuff like that, um, get look around your local music schools. Are there other kids or other teens learning instruments that are willing to share experience? So try to get as much live elements into your music. You will not believe what a difference it makes when you have even when you do a fully blown orchestral cue, when you put a violin or a solo cello on top of your string lines, it just breathes so much life into it. Also, vocalists can help a lot uh, breathing life into your music. And there are online websites for remote recording musicians that don't cost you an arm and a leg to. I mean, I'm not talking about union deals in Los Angeles where you pay, I don't know, 300, 400, $500 per hour, and you need a minimum of 3 hours for a session. So you're looking at $1,500 just to pay a singer for a session. I'm not talking about that. There is a ton of musicians out there that are not union based and not as expensive. The cheapest way to start with actually Fiverr, Fiverr.com. There are tons of people on Fiverr.com that offer their services, guitarists, bassists, vocalists. Not all of these cost $5. Some of these, I once had a track that had a drummer recording, and it was like $25, and the track was totally fine, was great for the track that I needed. And $25, and I had a fully blown live drum set that, no matter what, always sounds way better than whatever you can program as a non-drummer. So there's a huge pool of musicians at your fingertips that help you make your tracks stand out. Because using samples alone can get you very far, of course, when you know your ways around orchestration and mixing and all that stuff. But everybody else that has access to this kind of stuff has the same possibilities as you have with the sounds of the samples. I mean, some is creative, of course, still. So nobody can do the very same as you do when you write something just with samples. But finding your ways to access live musicians that you can layer in is something that differentiates you from anyone else in the world, pretty much. So that's one thing to help your music come more to life and stand out more. Um, I just bought the Cinesamples deal. What do you think about their libraries? Great deal, great stuff, especially for the price. You can really go wrong there. I studied music in Vienna, but of course you don't learn how to build connections. I feel like an absolute beginner when it comes to business. Yeah, I mean the business aspect is another thing. Obviously, it's very tough to break into the industry if you want to work on films that pay for. Speaking plainly from the film composer perspective right now. So when you want to work on films that pay well or let you make a living, that means that usually they're higher budgeted, which means they usually don't take on composers that have no experience at all. So that's a tough one to get into there. So you will not fly to LA, meet Steven Spielberg, and hey, let me do your next Jaws 5. That's very unlikely to happen. So you need to start small and build from there. You will not jump in right away and get the big gigs. Uh, this is something that is definitely not going to happen. Um, but yeah, start locally. Start looking around your own area. Is there a bigger? I mean, if you live in a village with 200 people, it might be tough to start with. But look for the closest town that has a university that offers anything related to filmmaking. If you don't find a university, go to the next big city or town close to you. Look around for agencies, production companies. Look through your local um, yellow pages or online archives, whatever you can find to access uh, advertising companies, and be yourself, be direct, but be friendly. uh, when you access these kind of companies, just tell them how it is. You're what do you do? You make music. What do you want? You want to sell it. So obviously, when you go to someone and say, "Dude, I want to sell you something," you will likely run into closed doors. So what you want to do is build relationships. Um, Never try to sell your goods on first contact, but rather make yourself interesting so the other party is interested in what you have to offer without you telling the other party, I have something to offer. Um, which can be tricky, but not impossible. So going forward from a local area, um, yeah, look at universities, film students. If there's yeah, if there's an art university for filmmaking, film school, anything like that, look around if you find that. Maybe you have some friends who like doing videos, collaborate, offer them to write music for their short films. Look online, look through crowdfunding campaigns for new movies that are just in the funding phase, where they usually put a 5 or 10 minute demo of what they actually want to film. Take something from their crowdfunding campaign, write something that you feel is appropriate for the movie, and send it to them without uh, charging anything or anything. Just say, "Well, you guys inspired me. I love what you do. This is what I came up with music. Could you see some kind of collaboration there? Could we work together?" So you build relationships with other people. People, you always need to keep in mind, people buy from people still. Sometimes it's not even about the quality or the type of music. Sometimes it just Hans Zimmer used to say what people are most interested is if you're a good hang. So this is something to keep in mind. You need to be an open-minded and try to be a person that someone likes to be around with. That helps a lot. Um, and other than that, I mean, you have goods and you need to try to sell them. So you need to make as many people aware of the goods you have, especially in the music industry. I mean, you're not likely going to be the next pop star. So, and especially when you want to do music for media, film, games, whatever. So you need to expose yourself and need to expose your music into the public to actually run into the situation of having people recognizing you. That can happen through videos, like doing your own YouTube channel, um, filming about the process, how you, I mean, I do pretty much the same. I started this channel like, I think 7 years ago, something like that, or started to make streams. And I can honestly tell you, over the years, I have gotten some jobs that I would never have gotten if I hadn't been on these streams. Um, though I understand that streaming is not for everyone and not everyone feels comfortable in front of camera, stuff like that. But even just showcasing your tracks on YouTube, uploading them to SoundCloud, building a following, and most importantly, uh, be open to others. So don't expect anyone to comment or like or whatever your stuff when you never give back. So it's kind of, you need to participate with others. Some jobs in my career have come from just being communicative in Facebook forums, for example, Facebook pages, Facebook groups. Uh, I got to know other composers that happened to have a job that they weren't able to fulfill because of other restrictions and other jobs. And then suddenly they asked me, "Dude, I had that little thing going on over there that I can't take care of. Would you want to take care of that?" Just because, based of the conversations that we had beforehand, that were just 19-inch talks and yeah, just hanging out, just hanging around. Uh, But I understand that takes time, and it takes a long breath to get going in this industry. It's one puzzle piece after the other. And then you meet someone who's interested in the same things that you do, someone who's working with a, for example, production music library already. And they say, well, they usually don't take anyone, but I can hand you the doorknob, so to say, and let you in. So uh, there's so many ways you can break in, which does not mean that you break through. It's a long way. So, oh damn, there was a lot of talking. Sorry for that. Mm, um, do you use the same piano roll for the articulation notes, or do you create the new lane with the same channel? If I don't use expression maps and use key switches, that is within the same MIDI channel. I don't do different MIDI channels for that. So, lol, lol. Good morning. How's Germany treating you? You good? I hope so. Um, so yeah, that is one thing. Hopefully that was not too far off. Yeah, be nice to people so people can be nice to you. Be open-minded. Write the best music you can. I mean, that goes without saying. You can't. If you compare yourself to the stuff that is out there and feel that you lack or that it doesn't sound as good as the stuff that is out there, then you need to get your ass down and work on it until it sounds as good or even better than what is out there. Because other than that, you have no chance of surviving. You need to hone your craft and hone your skills up till a point that you feel comfortable competing with the sound of what's out there. Otherwise, no one would have reason to hire you if you are not as good as the rest that is out there. Obviously, in the creative field and in music and in arts generally, the definition of good varies widely. But there is like a just listen to what is out there, what gets used, what film scores sound like, what production music sounds like, etc. So that is kind of your entry point that you need to meet. Um, yeah, I think that's it. There is no golden rule, no golden recipe to make your way. And if you look up 10 different paths of composers, you will find 12 different ways of how they got where they are. Um, there is no fixed way of doing it. It's always very personal and not applicable to others. Um, guess that's the point. I really would need a mentor who's in the industry because in Vienna there is nobody. Well, that's something I would not really necessarily uh, confirm with or go along with. Austria definitely has a film industry and has people and doing commercials and all that stuff, and they all need music. And I don't want to make music for Austrian films. Well, you will stumble upon moments in your career that you do things that you may not love to do, but that you just need to do to get the bills paid. And first and foremost, as especially in the production music business and the stuff that I do a lot, uh, there's a difference between music you do for what you love and music you do for a client or for a project. And sometimes you need to write a love cue, although you feel absolutely worn out, or you need to do something very depressive while you feel very good. Um, so it's not always about. I mean, that's for the completely other discussion. When people think about the fact that doing something artistic and doing it for money or as a job, that there is a clash of interest. I personally believe that there isn't, and that both can go hand in hand and work together. But that's something for an entire new discussion at some later point. Wow, that was a lot of talking. Sorry, guys, I got uh, swept away. So just take one last listen to what we have so far. I'm not sure if I jump on a stream tomorrow, but I will definitely not touch this project until the next night session to work with you together on this one. Sounds funny, but that's what I mean. I mean, mainly made with traditional music, and that has nothing to do with the cinematic music. Mm, yeah, it's too long to answer right now, but as I've said, the only thing that you can do is expose yourself into the world. We are luckily in a time that the locality does not necessarily define what you can do. Uh, get yourself out into the world. And even if you put something up in Austria and live there right now, you never know if someone from the UK listens to your music and is drawn into it. Um, that's the only thing I can say there. Don't let yourself be limited by the place where you reside at, because the world is open and accessible, at least for most of us. So, music. That's what we had. Nothing annoying about the questions, TB. It's all good. If you're right here at that point, there can be a downer as well, like. Okay. I will not jump into thinking of a melody idea for the third part. I will keep that for the third video. So, guys, what can I say? Thanks for watching. Thanks for your questions. I hope I didn't annoy you too much with talking and not doing so much music today. But yeah, we took a pretty decent look at the template, at the new template. And Don't cut the tech nerd goodies out. Yeah, I will keep them in there, but I will let people know when that part is over. Thanks for watching. See you next time, and stay healthy, stay safe. Talk soon. Bye bye.